Hello and welcome back to The Wandering Wind. I'm your host Gregory, and today I want to talk a bit about just overall how to deal with frustrating things and how to deal with depression and anxiety and stuff like that, because to be honest, I've had a lot of anger issues. I've had a lot of depression issues over the years. I've been in and out of a depressive state for quite a good bit of the last 2 years of my life, to be honest. So I know a thing or two about how to deal with the threat of succumbing to an emotion that should not even exist in most people. Okay, so what is depression? I want to cover that really quickly. And basically, depression, at least psychologically, is anger or frustration turned inwards and which causes you to suffer. Okay, so whatever it is you're angry with, whatever it is that you can't stand, whatever it is that you can't accept, instead of exploding, you implode. You go from being in a normal state to being to crushing yourself under the weight of all that anger, all that turmoil, all that emotional baggage that really should not exist but still does. Now, a lot of times depression can manifest in several different forms and on a wide spectrum. There are people on the mild end of the spectrum who, oh well, they have a few bad days and maybe they have a depressive episode or two where they just can't stop crying or whatever. And then we have the severe side of things where they're manic depressive, they're always unhappy, they flip moods like flipping a light switch. There's never really any kind of a homeostatic kind of balanced state. It's always one extreme or the other. And then you have the people that usually fall into the middle realm where they're not at the extreme end, but they're not at the mild end where most people are, where most people end up having minor depressive states. I was in the middle ground, but more heading towards the side of the extreme end, and I would get into severely bad moods where I would self-harm. I used to claw my arms for some way to feel something other than just plain blind rage or blind pain for whatever reason. I would take it out on others on occasion, and that's also a common thing. You don't always just turn it inward, you also turn it outward in anger. But for the most part, for a lot of clinically depressed or majorly depressed people, it manifests as self-directed harm, not so much as outwardly directed harm, although that can also happen. So what is one of the best ways to deal with depression or with anxiety or with any other kind of social or psychological or emotional problem that you have? Well, first of all, get to a psychologist, because I'm just telling you general practice thing, general tips and tricks. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know your exact situation, so I'm not going to know exactly what kind of things you may need. You need to seek actual professional help for that. But here are a few tips and tricks that I've found that really work for me when it comes to stress busting or getting the heightened emotions that sometimes happen down to a manageable level, because I know there are a lot of us out there that have just really bad days, and even I do, and there are just times that you need to find a way to find a center again. So here are a few tips and tricks. Number one, just focus on one thing. Now, it can be your breathing, it can be the repetitive thing that you're watching on TV or whatever, it can be music, it can be whatever. Find one thing to focus on. Find one simple thing that doesn't take a lot of brain power to focus on, but can ground you so that you don't have to be a slave to your emotions, because that is one of the worst experiences you can ever go through, is being a slave to your own emotions and not being able to understand why. Number 2, ice water. Now, I learned this from my own psychologist that I went to quite a few years ago. He helped me a lot with the anxiety and stuff that I suffer from. And a lot of times with anxiety, if you have a dedicated routine, it helps. But sip an ice cold glass of water. Ice water sipped slowly throughout the day can both lower your body temperature, your blood pressure, and your heart rate, but it can also lower your stress level, your anxiety, your frustration, your anger, whatever kind of emotions may be raging inside of you. That brings it down, because sipping ice water is a regulatory kind of practice. It can regulate a lot of things that may be wrong. Another thing, just do something that you love. If you love to draw, if you love to paint, if you love to play video games, don't play violent video games, but play video games that you enjoy. Just enjoy that and get lost for a short period of time. Get yourself into that mode, into that activity, and allow your mind to settle down from whatever is upsetting it. Another thing, talk with people. Now, make sure it's someone you trust, not just some random person on the street. Talk to someone you trust, like a family member, or a good friend, or even just your counselor if you have one. Make sure that you let those emotions out so that you're not continuing to bottle it in, because that is the worst thing you could do, is to bottle up your emotions and make everything so much worse. Because what is emotion under pressure? A bomb waiting to happen. That's basically what emotion is. When you bottle it up, when you put it under pressure, you allow yourself to become a ticking time bomb, where eventually that anger, that frustration, that sadness, that depression, that anxiety is going to blow, and it's going to hurt people. It may not hurt people like you physically hurt people, but you may still say something or do something that seriously offends or depresses or hurts the feelings of someone else. And that is something you never want to do. And lastly, just make sure that you're always aware. Be aware of the kind of emotions, the kind of feelings that you experience throughout the day, and journal them. I myself have a journal on my tablet that I write in every day, and it's backed up to the cloud, so if I ever lose the device, I've still got all of the journal entries that I need. And, you know, I can look back and say, well, that was something silly to be angry about, or that was something really unhealthy that I did to cope with this. And I can look back and understand why, and then how to move forward with how I behaved and what I did. Another thing that really helps with journaling is stream of consciousness writing. In the moment when you're feeling something, write what it is you feel. Write a short story, write a poem, or just write without really thinking, but rather feeling your way through it. You don't have to make something coherent, just write something that you know is going to get the anger or the frustration or the feeling out, because at the end of the day, you can't keep bottling up or keep compressing or keep hiding the emotional baggage that you have, because it's not going to do anything else other than frustrate, anger, and depress you at the end of the day. Lastly, I want to encourage you to always come back to one of my videos or one of the other creators' videos that makes you laugh. If you can find something that makes you laugh, it releases the tension of that moment, of that emotion, of that situation, and just allows, for a second, it allows you to just go, that was funny, or, oh, that's stupid, and really lets you feel okay. And it's okay to be, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be in pain. But allowing yourself to stay in that mode, to stay in that situation, is unhealthy. And it doesn't really do anyone else any good either. Because if they don't know what's going wrong, they can't help, can they? So just take these tips as what they are with a grain of salt. And, you know, you feel better today. Feel better right now. Feel better today. And I thank you guys so much for paying attention and watching. If you were helped by this, or if you did feel like this was something that was useful, please share this with other people, because I'm sure there are many people that could benefit from a few of these words, even if they're just a tiny bit of what I said here today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that like button down below so that I know that, and so that I can see which videos actually are enjoyed and which are not. And if you want to stick around and see those videos when they're published, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification icon so that you can always get updates when I do upload something that you're interested in. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day. I love you guys so very much, and I will see you guys again soon. Thank you so much for watching.